Welcome back to another episode of Ancient Athletics with Michaela. I hope everyone's had a great day, and I hope you're all ready to dive into the gladiatorial games. Today, I'm going to be comparing and contrasting the gladiatorial games versus modern sports. Imagine walking into a huge arena surrounded by thousands of fans. Everyone is wearing their team's merch and waiting for the game to start. Now imagine that same thing, but in 264 BC. Instead of sports like football, basketball, or soccer, the gladiators participated in combat and battles. When you first think about it, gladiatorial games and modern sports may seem like they have nothing in common. Gladiators fought in ancient Rome, and then modern athletes play sports like football and basketball. Both sports were made to entertain audiences, create famous athletes, and reflected what their societies valued. One of the biggest similarities between them is that they both were forms of entertainment and brought crowds. The Romans had huge arenas, and one of the most popular arenas was the Colosseum, where thousands of people could come and watch the games. The crowd was a very important part of the gladiatorial games. Fans would cheer, support their favorite athletes, and just make the games more competitive. Modern sports are very similar to this. There are always sold-out basketball games and football games where the whole arena is packed. Fans buy tickets, wear jerseys, bring signs, even air horns, anything you can think of that won't get you kicked out of a game to support their team. The Romans also had different types of gladiators with unique fighting styles and equipment. This gave the audience different matchups to look forward to, just like how modern sports have rivals that everyone can't wait for, like Steelers versus Browns or LeBron versus Steph Curry. Another major similarity is that very good and successful athletes can become famous. Not all gladiators were just random fighters. Some became very popular because of how good they were and their success. Their wins could give them money, fame, and popularity. The gladiator Spartacus was one of the most famous gladiators who led the Third Servile Revolt, which was a massive slave uprising that challenged the power of the Roman Republic. Modern athletes experience something very similar. Today, athletes who perform well can even become celebrities. They can become very popular without being as skilled as other celebrity athletes. They could be influencers or just have a personality that everyone loves. Celebrity athletes can have huge fan bases, social media followers, partnerships, and merch associated with them. Modern athletes definitely make more of an impact on the economy and other people than the gladiators, but the same idea existed. People become invested in athletes and wanted to see them succeed. The stories, statues, and artwork of the gladiator games are parallel to today's television, media, social media, and news. However, there's a very important difference. Modern athletes get to choose to participate in sports as a job, while many gladiators were enslaved or forced to play. A big reason why we have sports today is because of the ancient texts like the Roman games and archaeological finds. This can be as big as remaining structures like the Colosseum to as small as vases or pottery. The artifact I chose was a marble relief from Hierapolis. This shows two different moments between the gladiators Pinus and Odysseus. I found this picture on archaeology.org. This shows the different types of combat and what their fights looked like. Using this ancient artifact, we can compare gladiatorial sports to modern sports. Just like there are many similarities between the gladiatorial games and modern sports, there are many differences. The biggest difference between the two is the level of danger and different rules that they had. The gladiatorial games' purpose revolved around fighting. Roman gladiators could be seriously injured or killed during their matches. This is due to the fact that they didn't have many rules or protections to keep the competitors safe. The danger was actually part of the entertainment. Modern sports can be dangerous and have a lot of contact, but the goal of the sport is not for the athletes to kill each other. There are fouls, penalties, refs, and rules to prevent players from getting seriously injured. For Romans, watching people fight would be a normal part of public entertainment, while today sports are organized around rules designed to make competition safe. So overall, in modern sports, rules are often designed to protect the athlete, and in gladiatorial games, the danger itself was a part of the games. So when we compare the gladiatorial games with modern sports, there are many clear similarities and differences. Both bring large crowds and fans that support their favorite teams and athletes. They both have famous people who provide entertainment. However, gladiatorial games were much more dangerous and the athletes did not get to choose their profession. Even though the Colosseum and modern sports stadiums look very different, they both share a similar purpose: bringing people together to watch people compete and experience the excitement of sports. While sports have changed a lot during the years, the interest in competition, the athletes, and the fan base have stayed very similar. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a little more on the difference between modern and gladiatorial sports. See you next time.